Let's talk about technology and compliance. How can technology be leveraged to ensure that compliance? Well, technology is the cornerstone of compliance, but it's not everything. It's still people and processes. But every one of the current frameworks calls for like MFA, multi-factor authentication, security updates, software patching, monitoring of the security event logs daily, antivirus software at a minimum, although most people are now using EDR, which is much advanced. Stands for endpoint detection response. And that's just the start. Since most security compliances requirements are over 20 pages long, some are over 100 pages long. The technology requirements for both the endpoints and the user are extensive. Example of user components are security awareness training, testing, remediation. Not only we need to train users on things like phishing, which is the vector for business email compromise, which is where 90% of all compromises start, we have to periodically evaluate them, test them, see if they're falling for phishing, and if they are, provide remediation training for those that fail. Users need to be protected with anti-spam software, and we should be doing dark web monitoring, looking for their information and passwords, and making sure they're doing password rotation, changing them every 90 days, making sure they meet minimum complexity. We need to be constantly monitoring firewalls and endpoints and users in the cloud environment. We need to create group policies on the network that are enforced, and so that users can't accidentally commit a mistake. Data privacy and cybersecurity are integral to the compliance landscape, ensuring that organizations protect sensitive information and they adhere to the legal standards. And here's how they fit in. There's regulatory compliance. There are many regulations like GDPR, PCI, HIPAA, FINRA. They mandate strict data privacy and cybersecurity measures. There's compliance with these regulations. They help protect your personal data from unauthorized access and breaches and being sold on the dark web. Risk management. That's implementing robust data privacy and cybersecurity practices to mitigate the risk associated with breaches and cyber attacks. These include measures like encryption, access controls, regular security audits, penetration tests. They're all required. They're mandated. And then there's your trust and reputation. A strong data privacy and cybersecurity practice that helps build trust with your stakeholders and your customers and your vendors. And it demonstrates you have a commitment to protecting their information. And that only enhances your reputation and makes businesses want to do business with you. And then there's operational efficiency. Compliance with data privacy and cybersecurity standards often involves adopting best practices that help improve your overall operational efficiency. This includes data management processes and enhanced security patrols. This all leads to legal protection because if you're doing everything right, if you're adhering to the data privacy and cybersecurity regulations, you can avoid fines and court dates and lawyer costs. Non-compliance will result in budget busting, financial and reputational damage. You got to integrate your data privacy and cybersecurity into your strategy. Organizations can better protect their sensitive data information and reduce the risk, and they can build a foundation of trust and integrity. It all comes together. It's best practices. And that's what almost every regulation out there says. These rules that they specify in that framework are industry best practices. They've been fine-tuned and honed over a decade. And if you implement those best practices, if you're compliant, you have drastically reduced your exposure to being compromised and being in court and being fined, being put out of business.